Hello and welcome each and every one of you. With you today is me, Daiga, multilinguistic international coach therapist from DCT Center. Also, I'm true speaker, healer, energy worker, guide, mentor, co-creator, and galactic ambassador from Pleiadians. And with me today is again two beautiful, lovely ladies, Morganne Rayne, spiritual consultant, gratefully providing access to higher dimensions of being. Morganne has been called the healer of healers as a way to describe her unique spiritual tools she shares. Morganne is here to serve those who seek greater understanding of their sacred spiritual self, have the deep desire to integrate that consciousness in their 3D world. And with us today again is Jeannie Rayne, licensed psychotherapist in state of Washington, working primarily with early childhood trauma, sexual abuse, and emotional neglect, helping clients empower themselves. Jeannie sees herself as lifetime student of growth. She continually takes classes to enhance her knowledge base. So please remember, if you like, and my shows, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube video channel and Rumble video channel so we can access more people. Hello, 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 two lovely, wonderful, beautiful ladies. How you doing?
Good. Very good.
I'm good.
Great.
Yeah, I'm good. In despite all that's going on in our little country over here, there's a lot There's still so much going on. It's like since the first of the year, it's like a boil popped. And
I just read some article from Truther community about this so-called wildfires what was in California, yeah.
Yeah.
And with the picture, he's showing how interesting, how wildfires killing the houses, but not touching the trees.
isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's so interesting, wildfires. So look into it. There is information in YouTube and around. You can find
Yeah.
YouTube, Instagram. Um, it's possible to find lots of information. So do not listen only to what mass media is telling you.
Yeah, and they're actually comparing how this fire is, the way it's burning to the Lahaina fire on Maui, which is really interesting. And we don't know it. The fact is, all we get to do is witness what's happening, right? And then because we have no control over that, if it was deliberate, if it was an accident, whatever, we don't know, right? So for me, it's like, well, here we are, right? And we're talking. This is devastating, Daga. What's happened is it's really beyond devastating. This is a huge part of California that's gone. That's gone. I've been in those hills. I've been there. Jeannie probably has too. It's like exquisite. It's beautiful. But the thing is, it's gone. And as I sit with anything that happens in our life, we must know that everything is unfolding the way it is supposed to be unfolding. And sometimes that's really hard to accept. And also, what it did for me, because it's so easy to get my attention yanked off in that direction. And I'd already had my attention yanked, with the incident that happened in New Orleans, and then people calling for support for that. And so my attention keeps getting yanked. But that's not where my attention should be, right? It's like we can go off on who did what, when, how, all of that. We can investigate, we can think about that. But for me, it's like, okay, what am I what's my part here? What am I doing? What's useful for my frequency and my energy? And so, one, it's to hold all of those that are innocent in love that are being affected. That's the first thing. All those that are innocent held in love. So those have been my prayers. And then the second thing is, where's my attention going? And that's the big one right there. Because if my attention is going to the tragedy, if it's going to blame and all of that, then I have surrendered my beautiful energy to a low frequency expression, right? Does that make sense?
For me, it's make huge sense, because when you down going down to this energies, not only you sort of playing in those energies, but you supporting it, because your strength, you are so beautiful, strong soul, yeah. And if you go down there, that means you giving your strength to this evil, what is going on there.
Exactly. I give my strength to it, and we don't want my strength in that direction, or any of our strengths in that direction. So it's been an interesting evening and morning in thoughts about uh, where my energy flows, right? And where all of our energy flows. And the fact is, we can get scared about a lot of stuff. I mean, like, it's out there. It's out there. Boogeyman's everywhere, right? But it's learning to be present with that love in the presence of all of this. And what we know is the opposite of fear is love. We know that. We might intellectually know it, but this is a wonderful time to begin to prove that. So, why are we here? Um, uh, if we take our energy and lend it to the fear of all the attacks that's happened in this country, if we lend our energy to that whole lower dimension, then what happens is that we not only are we feeding the fear and that lower dimensional energy, we we have betrayed ourselves. We have fully betrayed our vision. We've betrayed it. So it's like, get back on track. So what what is it? And it was really interesting because I was guided to pull cards today, and what showed up was really interesting, and it's all really in alignment with this and was things that Daga was getting. So the first one is about getting in touch with that inner muse, that energy, that creative energy, that inspiration. And I actually wrote inspired, right? I love that word. Inspired means spirit within, inspired, right? So you hook up with creator through the muse, right? About what you want to create, what's in. See, that's about uncreation, what's going on in the world. We're about creation. We're about creation. So what are we going to create here? So putting our focus back on the beautiful ideas we have, the projects that have been given to us in the past. That's how Daga and I first met, through humanitarian work, to put our energy and our focus back on those guidances that we've been given, the inspirations that we are given. And the only way we can get to those inspirations is by tuning within. Um, and so we want to, continue to do that. And the thing is, when we start aligning our energy with the divine, then the divine, that's what shows up in our lives. Right? So if we align our energy with all that other stuff going on over here, that's what we become.
And also, even if we sort of in consciously we aligning in positive energies and pure unconditional love energies and so on, still till you subconsciously haven't cleared something out, yeah, and subconsciously if you still hanging on to something else, it will hinder your progress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because doesn't matter how much you killing yourself, working on yourself consciously, yeah, you still have to clear out subconscious mind.
Right. I was what's coming up for me is Viktor Frankl's book, A Man's Search for Meaning. And when and these were people that were in the concentration camps. And he said, the only thing we have that people can't take away from us is our mind, our heart, and what we think. And so it's about not giving our power away to others, outside forces, and just being within. And it takes practice. You can't just get there because you want to. You have to. It's a practice, like meditation or anything else. You have to work on it every day. And I believe that a woman I know that is down there in the fires, and her house was burned down. And she got on Facebook and she said that she raised her 3 children there lived there for 16 years in this beautiful house. They loved it. Raised 3 children, and it's completely wiped out. And she's living with a friend, and she has no idea what the future is going to bring. And she's just trusting in the fact that that this happened for a reason. It's time to move on with something else. And it's really hard to do because there's so much, we get so attached to our things and our memories of that house and what it brought to us. But there's also where do we put our attention? It's like the people in the concentration camp.
Mm-hmm.
Do we put it on the suffering, or do we go within and know what we know inside, the truth, and knowing that will sustain us? And so I don't know. I just think it's a time for us to be called to go within and really know our truth and believe it and be the light that we want to see in the world, because we need it now more than ever. And I just really say prayers for everybody who's suffering at this time.
Yeah.
Also, I think we at the moment talking about our jobs and our guidance, yeah. But every single soul comes here with their own guidance, with their own path, yeah. And there has to be souls who are going fighting, literally fighting for freedom, fighting for everything what's going on, and researching what's going on, and giving other people like us to not to spend hours and hours in research, but go to trusted souls who actually research for us. Yeah, we at that time can concentrate our minds on meditation, concentrate on sending prayers, concentrate on pure unconditional love instead of going and researching. Yeah, same as with those who are going in streets and with all signs and everything picketing for something, yeah, we need those people as well, because we can't same time send pure positive light to somebody and same time go on the streets and go on the pickets, yeah.
Yep.
So every single person is here exactly at the same place, exactly at the same time where it needs to be. And if your guidance is instead of being at home and creating something new, your guidance is I have to go on the streets and join those who are picketing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant, go. That means that's your path at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. And the only way you're going to know that if you're tuned in to what's my part here? Where do I direct my energy? Where is that most useful?
Exactly.
While Jeannie was talking, it reminded me of something I wrote down on January 3rd. It's called The Addiction to Feeling Bad. I think I read this to Jeannie. I was thinking about that humans are they, we have all kinds of addictions, right? One of those addictions is we're addicted to feeling bad. And how you know that is is because it comes up a lot. It could come up. And the other thing is you can get so much sympathy and empathy for feeling bad, right? You don't get that from feeling good. You get that if you're feeling bad. You can get a lot of people to like entrain with you on that bad feeling and commiserate with you in that bad feeling, right? Therefore, reinforcing that bad feeling, which means we're addicted to that bad feeling. So I wrote this thing down about addiction to feeling bad. Transmitting this frequency resonates and vibrates and entrains with others, other things, other people, other beings, other events. It's a matter of frequency. So for me, that's really important because, and it's exactly what we've been talking about here. It's like, where do we direct our resonance, our frequency? Because what happens is that thing I was telling you about with being addicted to feeling bad, we can get others to come into agreement with us and proliferate with us and get angry with us or whatever. But what about if we got together, we all like started about, the energy about love and about creation and about dreaming into existence, beautiful things. It's like humans don't really do that. I mean, we have every once in a while vision circles or what, like, that like that, but which is beautiful. And we have some global meditations that happen and we can measure what happens when those happen. But what if we could, instead of looking for commiseration about what's going wrong in our lives, come together and generate the energy, that frequency around that positivity, around that that blooming, that growth, that bringing into the world new vision. It's just a different way of looking at what we're up to here as humans on this earth. So I thought that would be interesting to read that. It's a matter, and I wrote, I got matter like cubed off here. It's a matter of frequency. So matter, what is matter? Matter, chair matter, I matter, right? But it also matters, right? It's important. It matters. It's important. So it's a matter of frequency. So when we're looking at matter, what's the frequency of that, right? And then it matters. It means something. It matters to us. so to bring that frequency. So when we're looking at our frequency, what matters to us, because what matters to us, that's where we put our attention. It matters to us to be commiserating with the victims, and we generate that energy, and therefore the matter of that will generate victimhood and that kind of energy. So if it matters to us to be love and light and peace and joy and hope and goodness in the world, that matters to us, and that's our frequency, then the matter that forms around that energy becomes what we've been putting our attention on. So it's another way of looking at, ooh, the sun's coming through the fog. That's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. It's been so foggy. Oh my goodness. So anyway, yeah, the maybe the fog's clearing.
Also, I want everybody who is watching us now, please remember that you can connect with us with message. Please just put in the comments message and say hello and ask your questions. So come and just join us in our chat. Yeah. So yeah, we have quite few people today coming to us and listening to us.
Beautiful.
So
I'm so happy.
So what I want to say is about the addiction to feeling bad. You really see that during the elections. You're either for us or against us. And there's always something that the media is putting out there about, this or that. Dividing, and we get caught up in it. And it's about being aware that we're getting caught up in it, and say, do we want to participate in this, in the sense of, not that you're not going to vote or, but that you don't have to get caught up in what another person's doing. It's like going back to your truth and saying, this is what I'm doing, and let other people get caught up in the addiction of feeling bad.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go shut my curtain because I can no longer see you guys and my eyes are watering. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But also, I think also this all playing in victim, it comes from your childhood as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because imagine even with parents who doesn't much care about kids. Yeah, only way how kid can get any attention from parent if he is sick, if something is happening. Yeah, if he burns something, cut something, whatever emergency there be, that means the parent has to attend. The parent has to give this love and attention. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already from childhood. So many people learning that that's very good way of getting attention and getting what I need for myself. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And then as we get older, we realize we can give that to ourselves, that we don't have to depend on somebody else to give us that attention. It's great if they do, but we know we can also get it on ourselves, within ourselves.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. And I think, Daga, what you're talking about is doing your work and knowing where these things come from, where your addiction to feeling bad comes from. And then that's, a sign that you need to do your work, your inner work.
Yeah. That's exactly the conversation we were having yesterday, Jeannie. Right?
Right.
It was about, we were talking about AA, and that's a powerful work and beautiful work in the world. But I was I was saying one of my rubs with AA is the alignment of your I am with that word alcoholic. That aligning your frequency with I am and alcoholic, right? I am. And that's aligning your highest frequency with that. When people have come to me with addictions, and they want to stop an addiction, I'm not interested in stopping the addiction. I want to, because that's their comfort. That's what soothed them. That's what I want. My curiosity is wonderful. Well, let's find out what needs the addiction here. Let's find out what's hurting here, because that was used as something to make you feel better. And why would I want to just rip that away from you? What I'm most interested in is finding out what happened, and then finding out what do you really need. And
Right.
and Jeannie just spoke to that piece right there. It's if we don't do that for ourselves, well, one, we have to do it for ourselves so that we can be models to help others do it for themselves. And, of course, they can come and work with us, but they're going to have to do that work of discovery of what happened and what do you really need. And then many times those addictions just, there's not a need for it. It's not, there's no need for that comfort because they've given themselves what they really need. And it could have been, I just needed somebody to hold me, right? So, but kids do that. They learn to get their attention and what they think is love from a parent by getting sick, being accident prone. There's a lot of ways that kids getting in trouble. Right? Being a class clown, being the clown of the family is another way. There are ways that kids have learned. These are, I call them strategies. I don't know what Jeannie calls them. I call them strategies to get what you think you need. And kids are good about finding creative ways to get what they need. The problem is we take those strategies into adulthood and they don't work. They just don't work. They cause mayhem. They cause fractures in relationships. They create unreasonable expectations of others. So that's why it's so important to look at what happened, right? To go there. And
Right. And some people don't even know that they have they have that strategy. They don't see it as a strategy. They see it as their personality. And that's why they don't see that it's not working in adulthood, because they think it's a part of them, but it is a strategy.
I've heard people say, well, that's just me. Right. Go, oh, really? Oh, really? Yeah. It's, but that's just a cop out. So you don't have to do your work.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And so, I mean, so doing your work is not for the faint of heart. It takes courage and tenacity to continue to check in and saying, where is this coming from? Is this the way I want to be?
And that's actually, since you start working on yourself, you never stop working on yourself, because you're peeling just layers and layers and layers of things away from you, yeah, and discovering more and more deeper things about yourself, yeah.
Yep.
When I start work with myself, if somebody be tarot reader or something, tell me that I am Pleiadian soul and so on, I probably will change tarot reader. Yeah, think that the person is completely crazy. Yeah, but now getting this message from Creator, I now understand where it's coming from and why it is how it is. Yeah.
Yep.
And what's my path here? Yeah.
Yep. I heard a little thing from a spiritual teacher this morning. I was listening to that. He was somebody had asked him about the search for God. And what he said, actually, I wonder if I put that little video on my desktop. If I did, I want to play it. So just hang on a second. I don't know if I can find it.
While you're looking for that, I want to remind everybody, please, if you like our shows, please like, share, subscribe to to my YouTube channel, so you can see when any new shows coming up. And trust me, there will be many more. I already have plans for many more. So we have plenty to look up, plenty to see, because that already today is 90-second show only with Morganne and latest with Jeannie as well. So there is 92 hours of complete wisdom already. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus many, many more shows with many more people. So please
Yeah.
look up.
Yep. So I can't find the little video. I don't know. I must have thought I would save it and I didn't. But anyway, the gist of it is that he talks about the search for God. So he said he did a diligent search for God and he found himself.
Mm.
And when
That's
he found
beautiful.
himself and he searched himself, he found God. And that's what we're talking about right here. Because if we don't do that search of ourselves and all the stuff, don't be afraid of any of that. The presence of God is right there. The courage to search for God and then find yourself. And then when you find yourself, that's where God is. It's always right there within you. It's not out there. People want to go out there to look for it. That's why I lean into guidance like that muse, right? Get inspired, invite that in. Open your mind, your heart, your being to the creative juices of creation. Be in that. Because if we get into that fear and the trauma of what's going on in our world, then that's what wins. And that's not why we came here. We came here to wake up, remember the truth for ourselves, and then help other people wake up so that they can remember the truth of themselves. And so there you go.
Right.
I think, okay, go, Jeannie.
I was just going to say, if people have questions or need help in something, they can ask us, because in all of us, we've done a lot of work, and we have a lot of wisdom in this group here, right here. And just so everybody knows, is that we also all do our work. We also have other people we go to help us do our own work. We don't do this alone. It's not something you do alone. I mean, you can do it alone, and we can do it alone, but it's more powerful and effective when we have somebody witnessing our journey and to help us get clearer about where we need to go. So I just want to put that out there for everybody, because the way we're talking, it sounds like we're always doing it alone, but the reality is we're not.
No.
And that we need to ask for help. We really need to ask for help.
Definitely not.
So.
And what's really interesting with you saying that, Jeannie, is, and I don't know, ladies, maybe this happens for you too. I'll have gone through something really challenging in my life and moved through the other side of that. And what ends up happening most every time is someone with exactly the same thing shows up for assistance. Mm-hmm. And it's like, then I go, thank you for sending that to me so that I know how to navigate that. And so I can take that whatever happened to me and move into gratitude with it, because having the courage to heal it rather than de-evolve into misery and anger or whatever, whatever that energy, wherever that energy will take you. My courage to work on it, heal it, talk it out with someone I trust and love, someone that can also hold a higher vision for me. Don't go to someone that has a lower vision than you. Have someone that can have a higher vision than you to help lift you up, help lift that frequency up. And it's just an interesting phenomena that what I went through, something very similar shows up for me to assist. Does that ever happen to you ladies?
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
I've been reflecting back on my life, and now while you're talking, some people who watching us already know that I have availability to get downloads while Morganne is speaking or somebody is speaking. I have literally downloads coming to me what I need next to say. And what download I just had was flashback on my life, yeah, and literally from first steps, yeah, through my life, always was somebody there who give me hand and some piece of wisdom. Yeah, that person could be for 5 minutes in my life, or the person could be for a few years in my life. Yeah, till I listen this message until I move next step. Yeah, but while you growing, when you growing, these people who are your mentors, yeah, they are changing. They are coming, going, and somebody new is coming in their place. And like Morganne said, you need all the time look for somebody who is pulling you up, who is taking you higher, yeah, in your knowledge, in your skills. And I even, if I look at my life, at least, let's say, 7, 8 years ago, yeah, I call mentor somebody who at the moment our path is completely separate. Yes, this person was very good to open my eyes on things, yeah, but now I can see how our path doesn't match because this person is still in ego while I'm moving through pure unconditional love, and I try to stay in this pure unconditional love, yeah, where
That
that is all about how we make more money of this, how we make more money of this, it will be better income of that, and so on, yeah. Strategies how to build your business and so on. And yes, I do need build my business, same as everybody else. Sadly, I do have to play in this 3D world, yeah, but it's not my main priority. My main priority is there to help for this what I'm doing here, yeah, putting together these shows and inviting you and your time. Nobody pay us.
nope.
If nobody thinks that we for this 92 hours get even penny, that's not happening. We don't get even penny for it. Yeah, so we're doing things because we want to help others, not because I building my YouTube channel or Rumble channel to get more views, get more subscribers, to just get more money. No, not happening for me. Not happening like that. I'm not on those. Yeah, so look for those mentors and look if something not working for you, if you feel to you uh, not really connecting, then move to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I've been talking too much.
No,
Sorry.
it was beautiful. No, it's I love real life experience, right? And that's what we have. That's all we have is that's what we came here for, is for the experience. Um, I believe, and what's the experience you're having? Um, for me, I like my theme. I kind of have a theme of triumph, right? And in a way, I know that's kind of true for each of us here. It's like we get put into situations, but we triumphed over it, right? We moved beyond that. We didn't succumb to the low frequency energies, and we may have for a while, right? But we can't stay there because that's not what we're about. But we can have those. I mean, I've been in some deep, dark places, right? It's like, don't look in here because it's dark inside, right? Um, but just as dark as it is inside, it's also the opposite of that. It's pure light on the inside, and that's what I choose to focus on. Even in, yeah, it's sad that parts of California are gone. It's sad, but this has happened all over the world. There's places all over the world where communities and people have just disappeared for some reason or another, and here we are again. So this is a beautiful time. I think that we're in this 2025 year. It's a 9 year, right? So 9 years about um, having had completion and now beginning again. So here we are, beginning again. What are we beginning? What, what are we thinking? What are we feeling? Where are we putting our attention? Yeah.
I think we need uh, actually finish with what we started, to put your attention on your dreams, put your attention what was in this cards, yeah, what you've been pulling,
Yeah.
yeah, to put your attention on your dreams, on your ideas, on your next steps forwards.
Yep. And you can get all of that information when you go within and ask for that guidance. And that's where I think that a lot of people just they look for their guidance out there in the world. And if you're looking for it out there, you're going to be yanked all over. That, remember when I talked about I could get yanked over here, or I could get yanked over there, right? Something's always trying to yank my energy one way or the other. It's like and it's Judy talked about this, this past few years, with the political thing, right? People want you yanked over into their court. Oh, you don't think the way I do. Okay, you're out. You're no good. You're a da da da. Oh, you're over here. Oh, you don't think like we do. It's like, no, I don't. I think like I do, right?
Yeah.
I think like I do, and that's good right there. So what do I think? What's the original thought of me? Most people aren't authentic or original. They're copycatters, and they get on a they get it's similar to commiseration, right? It's like they entrain with the misery, or you can entrain with the fervor, and neither of those are start in training with your internal self. Go search for God, find yourself. And when you find yourself, you'll find God. So that's all I got to say about that.
Actually, I already few shows back I was telling about somebody on beginning of 2020 was telling the start time when we have to be uh, on eye of the storm because that's the calmest place. We can't escape the storm. We can't overcome the storm. We can't do anything about it. We can't do anything about Californian situation. We can't do anything about Ukraine or Israel or any of it. Any of it who suffers at the moment. Our prayers is with them, but we can't do anything of it. Yeah, but you need to keep in positive, to keep in your place. You need to be in the eye of the storm, where is
Yep.
the calmest place. Your home. Yeah, I'm working thank God I'm working from home, so my home is this eye of the storm. I know when I open doors and I go to shop and I see people who still wear the masks and gloves and something to go to shop, yeah. Uh, okay, I see that. I know there is storm around, yeah.
Yep.
But at my home, here is peace, here is calm, here is everything how I want to actually be able to keep calm
Yeah.
and at peace and give everything what I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say everybody please try to learn to be in this eye of the storm.
Yep. And
Yeah.
the good news is when you stay in the eye of the storm, that storm will do its I grew up with hurricanes. So I'm pretty familiar with this eye of the storm, right? And that hurricane can do whatever it's doing, whipping it up, pouring, dumping rain, but eventually that all that energy it just wears down. It loses the energy and it's not real. And the only thing that's left that's real is that center. That's all that's left is the center. And that's like it is for us. Our lives can be like a crazy storm going on out there. But if you can center yourself and be in the center of you, then you can weather just about anything that the world is throwing at you.
Right. And I just like to say something about when Diego you were saying about you can't do anything about helping these people. But I think prayer is one of the best things we can do when we feel like we can't do anything else. I mean, the power of prayer is unbelievable. And, if when you really believe it and put all your attention into it, it changes you, it changes people, it changes everything. And so it's just so good to be able to pray for people.
Yep. And the first thing it does is change you, right? It gets you back into the right frequency.
Right.
And that way, and then from there, you are praying for them in that frequency, in that love frequency, and then that can change them. I was going to say this earlier for people who are healers. When they're working with someone, they're not focusing on what's wrong. Never. They're not focusing on what's wrong. They're focusing on the wholeness and the perfection of the individual. I want you to get that. They are not focusing on what's wrong. They are focusing on what's whole and perfect, the wholeness, the perfection, those higher frequency. And that's what heals. That because what happens is that what was untruth becomes truth, becomes love, becomes whole. So I just felt like I need to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's the way I work with my clients. It's I see them as whole people, and then I think, what is the missing piece that they don't see this?
Yeah.
And that's what I work on.
Yeah.
So they get to see it. And I think it's really important to, in my field, we're supposed to diagnose people. But I think if we put labels on it, and as a psychotherapist, I don't have to diagnose people unless I'm using insurance. But I think, there's some people in the field that label people like, oh, they're bipolar, or they're borderline, or
Yep.
and once you label somebody like that, that's all you see, and you excuse their behavior for that diagnosis, and it's you're not helping them heal that part of them by labeling them, like by naming, like that's who they are, because that's
Yeah,
not who they are.
But I
exactly.
don't know. This is another, I think, about another subject for another show, really, because it's, I find that as soon people getting this label on, yeah, all their mindset changes. Oh, it's
Yep.
not, it's nothing, it's not me, it's my ADHD with
Oh,
Darwin. Yeah, it's not me. No, no, no. That's because I am like that. I can't do anything about it. But they don't really even trust in me when I said you can. If you
well,
work on yourself, you can.
yep.
Yeah, and
Well,
that's
those,
somebody telling you. That's somebody giving you this label.
yep.
Yeah, you don't have to give this label to yourself.
Yep, I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday about she asked about my grandson, and I was telling about some of the things he's up to. She goes, "Well, he might be neurodivergent, you know?" And it's like, I go, "We don't put labels on our children. We don't put labels." And that's exactly the reason why, because what happens is they get wrapped up in that label and they become the label, and then they begin to argue for their limitations always because they're that label. And that is a big fat lie. It's a big fat lie. And that big fat lie needs to be dispelled. That labeling stuff needs to go away. It just needs to go away. I you can tell I got a little
No,
agitated about.
that's what I'm saying. It really is subject of completely another show to
Yeah.
explain to people that those labels not helping anyone.
Okay. Well, let's look at that for next week. So, people, if you want to come back and know about labels, we'll talk about that next week because
Yeah,
it,
we
it,
at the moment running out of time, and Morganne, we really, really want some meditation.
yeah, I'll just do a very short meditation, and I just, yeah, I'm going to take a breath here because I got a little agitated about that label stuff because I've people put labels on me, and don't, it's like, no, I'm not gonna. Either it's a big label, like, oh, you're like a guru. No, I'm not. Don't label me that way, please don't. Right? Don't label anyone anything. So, okay, take a breath with me. And that energy that I just experienced there, and everybody got to experience with me, that energy, I'm going to take all that energy and I'm going to take a deep breath with that energy and bring it inside. Take a breath with me. And all that energy I'm feeling on the inside, I'm just going to let it out with that breath. Let it out. And maybe you notice where you might be having a lot of energy that is agitating or, over exciting you in a way that may not be positive. Just notice it. And I invite everyone to choose something that, maybe you're even passionate about, but it's creating a big energetic storm in your life. Just feel into that. And then take a beautiful breath into it because it's just energy. And on the out breath, release it. And then move your attention to your heart. And within your heart, find that place of peace and quiet. Moved away from the chatter of the mind, moved away from the chatter of the world. Come home to yourself. Open the door of your own heart and enter into the sanctuary of yourself, where you are whole, where you are at peace, where that seed divine idea of you is authentic and real. Take a breath in. Keep your attention on your heart. Move to that idea, that seed idea of who you are. Not the flurry of who you are, not the problems of who you are, not the successes of who you are. That's all the flurry. Come back in. Open the door to your heart and enter into the sanctuary of your being. And it may take practice for many. That's okay, practice. Move yourselves out from the storm and into what Dega so beautifully called the eye of the storm. Move into the sanctuary of your heart. That's where the eye of the storm is. That's where that peace is. That's where the seed, the kernel of who you are, resides. And keep that door to your heart open. We're so used to closing it down to protect ourselves. But have courage to open the door and enter in. And once inside, relax. Allow your body to relax. Allow your breath to be measured and easy. Find out what it feels like to be calm and at peace. Discover your peaceful self here. And as we are in the sanctuary of our own hearts, allow yourself to be in resonance with your own creator that created you right there in your heart. That seed idea of you. The unique gifts and talents of you. The who you are. Not who your parents want you to be, or schools, or your friends, or politics, or any of that. Leave all of that and enter into this chamber of your own sacred self whenever you find yourself being pulled or yanked in any direction. Come back to your center. And in this center place, with who you really are, ask into this place, what is there for me to do and be now? Direct my actions, direct my thoughts, direct my feelings in the ways of love, in the ways of peace, in the ways of goodness. Increase my vision so that my vision sees the peace. Increase and clarify my vision so I can see and know all as whole and perfect. I ask for fear to be dissolved within the hearts of man. I ask this fear to be dissolved, for it is not real. And I ask for the pure, unconditional love of our Creator the Great Spirit, the Holy Spirit, God, to be ignited within every heart, every mind, every hand, every movement. I ask and remember the presence of love right there. Take a breath in. And with every breath that I take, this expands. This presence of love, this presence of light, this connection I have with Source, with Creator. Knowing I am guided every step of the way. Knowing that I'm safe right here in the center, in the sanctuary of my own heart. My door is open. Love is flowing in. Peace has settled in. And so I invite everyone to do this practice throughout the week. As you participate as being a human on this planet and you notice all the things that are going on, that's the storm. Bring your attention within to the sanctuary of your own heart. Open that sanctuary door and enter and bask in the love and the peace and be that frequency in our world. So it is with love and light that we give thanks for the conversation that we have had this day. So grateful for Dega and for Jeannie for being partners with me in this awakening and remembering, knowing that we are ultimately in partnership with the divine, with Creator, with Great Spirit, leading us, guiding us, speaking through us, and remembering and reminding us the truth of who we are. So in love and light, I bless us all until we come together again. And so it is.
Thank you, Morganne. Jeannie, do you have something to say?
I just want to thank everybody for showing up today. And it was a pleasure being with you, ladies.
Thank you, everybody who came to us and watch us now. Thank you very much who will watch us later. Please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube and Rumble channels. And see you next week. God bless.
Bye, everybody.